The guy canceled a romantic surprise with a trip to the beach when the girl chose to spend her birthday with her friends. But everything turned upside down when she found out about the surprise, had a fight with her friends, and they started bullying, which ended in betrayal and a complete break with her best friends. I planned an amazing beach trip for my girlfriend's birthday, but she chose to spend it with her friends, and everything fell apart. I'm 28, she's 25, and we've been together for 8 months. She has a tight-knit group of friends from high school, and she never makes decisions without consulting them. We met a year ago at a work event and started talking. I asked her out a few times before she finally agreed. Later, I found out she was waiting for her friends' approval. I thought it was a bit odd to need their permission to go on a date, but she said it's normal in their group, so I didn't press further. I've met her friends. They seem nice, and since they care about her, I figured it was fine. A couple of weeks ago, she mentioned she'd always wanted to take a beach trip with a partner, but never got the chance. With her birthday coming up, I decided to surprise her with one. I planned everything carefully, even booking a spa session. She had no idea, and I did my best to keep it a secret, though I'm usually terrible at that. I was really excited about the trip and wanted to make it unforgettable. But a few days before her birthday, she sat me down and said she wanted to throw a party with her friends instead. They'd been planning it for a while, and she promised we'd celebrate together later. I asked if her friends could move their party to another day, but she said it was her choice to spend her birthday with them, and hoped I wouldn't take it personally. Her words didn't help. I was really hurt that she didn't want to spend the day with me. I tried to change her mind, but she got upset and said her decision was final, and I just needed to accept it. I was crushed and decided to cancel the trip entirely. I lost a bit of money, but I didn't care anymore. I was angry and hurt that she chose her friends over me. I get that she's known them forever, but as her boyfriend, I was really looking forward to spending time together. She hangs out with her friends every weekend, and it's never bothered me because I know how much they mean to her. I just wanted her to choose me this time. Yeah, it sounds selfish, but it really stings that she always puts her friends first. I canceled the trip and didn't even tell her what I'd planned since I wanted it to be a surprise, which she ruined by saying she'd rather be with her friends. Yesterday was her birthday, and she spent it at a party with them. They had a great time. My friends thought it was a little strange, but I was too upset to care. I was down all day, trying not to dwell on it. Today, she came over acting like nothing happened. She seemed happy, chatting about how her friends got her tipsy and how much fun they had, completely oblivious to how much I was hurting. At one point, I felt like I might break down. Not wanting to seem weak, I excused myself and went to the bathroom. I felt awful about everything that had happened, and I didn't know how to tell her I felt neglected without sounding insecure. I pulled myself together and came back to talk to her, but when I returned, she looked serious, holding my phone. As soon as she saw me, she showed me the screen and demanded to know why I canceled a birthday trip. The resort I'd booked sent a message confirming the cancellation and refund, and she must have seen it. Instead of being sorry, she looked angry, which confused me. Trying to stay calm, I explained that I canceled it the day she insisted on spending her birthday with her friends. She lost it, yelling that I ruined her celebration. She said I acted immaturely and should have told her about my plans to convince her to come with me. I didn't get how it was my fault. I'd planned a surprise, but she rejected it without giving me a chance. I reminded her I tried to persuade her to spend the day with me, but she was set on her friends and even argued with me about it. She got even angrier, called me selfish and immature, and said I deliberately messed up her special day. I told her if she'd given me a chance, she'd have seen the surprise I had in store. So she only had herself to blame. Her accusations of immaturity weren't going to change that. I said she needed to rethink her priorities and stop acting like she and her friends were still in high school. She was already upset, but after that, she called me a jerk, stormed out of my place in tears, and left.
It's been 2 hours since she left.
At first I felt relieved for getting it off my chest, but now I feel like a total creep. I keep picturing her crying, and I can't shake the guilt that I somehow ruined her birthday, even though logically I know I'm not to blame. I really, really love her. Aside from this somewhat childish attachment to her friends, she's practically perfect. I admire her loyalty to them. It shows she's dependable and trustworthy. But sometimes it feels like she'd rather be with them than me, and that hurts so much. I think anyone in my shoes would feel the same way. Still, I might have gone too far and hurt her feelings. I hate how I acted and what I said. I thought venting would make me feel better, but it didn't, and now I'm totally confused. Part of me wants to apologize and make things right, but another part knows it's not my fault. She always puts her friends above me, and even though I get that they've known each other longer, it still hurts. I'm upset and have no clue what to do next. I'm freaking out because if I don't act fast, I might lose her. I don't want that, but honestly, I don't feel like apologizing either. That's why I'm here. Was I wrong to cancel the beach trip I planned for her birthday after she said she wanted to spend it with her friends instead of me? So let's hear your thoughts. Drop your opinion in the comments below. Now, onto the update. Update Gen 1. It's been a full day since our fight, and this is probably the longest we've gone without talking. It feels weird, but I'm not apologizing first if that's what she's waiting for. I've thought a lot about it, and I still don't see what I did wrong. I don't think I was out of line, so I'm not saying sorry. I'm pretty sure she's told her friends about it, because a few minutes ago I checked social media and noticed some of them blocked me. Others are posting cryptic quotes and photos with her, hinting she deserves better. It really gets under my skin that they're painting her as the victim and making her feel worse when this is just the result of her own choice. Plus, I can't believe these girls, who were always nice to me in person, suddenly turned on me and are trying to make me the bad guy when they know I'm not. If they were real friends who wanted the best for her, they'd tell her she was wrong, and my reaction was normal. Instead, they're adding fuel to the fire. It's just messed up. Honestly, I think they're just annoyed she has a steady partner now. There are 7 girls in their group, and none of them have stayed with a guy longer than 3 months. I'm not judging, but it used to make me wonder why they can't keep serious relationships. I'm not the type to bail at the first sign of trouble. I give it my all before even thinking about breaking up, so their behavior seems bizarre and illogical to me. My girlfriend and I have had small disagreements before, but we always worked it out quickly, and as far as I know, she never complained to her friends. I guess that's because they'd probably tell her to dump me at the slightest inconvenience. I don't want to break up, and I'm willing to talk it through, but if she listens to her friends and ends things, well, that's her loss. It'll hurt like crazy, but at least I'll know I stayed true to myself. Updates in 2. 3 days ago, I wrote the last update after realizing some of her friends blocked me and were likely pushing her to break up. Today, I got proof I was right. We hadn't spoken for 3 days, and I was starting to lose hope we'd get back together. I was convinced it was over. I was feeling awful, so I took a day off to stay home, mope, and watch something light to distract myself. But a few hours ago, there was an unexpected knock at the door. I wasn't expecting anyone, so I was shocked to see my girlfriend standing there, with a bouquet and a box of my favorite candies. I froze. I never expected this. I've never had a girlfriend do something like this to make up, and it felt almost unreal. I let her in without saying much, because I was speechless. After a few awkward seconds, she blurted out that she's really sorry for everything, and wants to be together again if I'm still open to it. She didn't even give me a chance to respond before explaining what happened. After our fight, she went to her friends since they had a late brunch planned anyway. She got there early and told them everything. Like I suspected, her friends flipped out and insisted she dump me immediately. They even said they never liked me and started making rude comments about my height and looks. Then one friend suggested she go on a date with another guy just to mess with me. That freaked her out because it would have been emotional manipulation and basically cheating. To her shock, the others backed the idea, saying they'd done it before, and it always worked to get guys to apologize first. It was the first time she'd shared a serious issue about us with them, and she was stunned by their advice. She told them she didn't want to be that shady, but they laughed, called her weak and naive, and said her soft personality is why her boyfriend treats her so badly. These are her first serious adult relationship. Before this, she only had a high school romance that lasted a year and ended when the guy cheated on her in college. After that, she didn't date anyone because of trust issues. Of course, her friends thought no one was good enough for her. She'd had a couple of dates and fleeting romances, but nothing serious. She told me she definitely wants to keep our relationship going. Even though we've been together for less than a year, she's already grown attached to me, and that's not going to change. Watching her friends deliberately post things to annoy me and laugh about the situation like it's a hilarious joke, she realized she couldn't get any decent advice from them. They're probably toxic in their own relationships too. She was thinking along the same lines as me. Why can't any of them stay with a guy for more than a few months? She concluded that these girls were completely the wrong people to ask for advice about her personal life. She realized her mistake that same day, and even told her friends later, that evening, that she wanted to apologize to me and fix things, but they tried to talk her out of it, insisting that apologizing would set a bad precedent and make her look weak. She tried to explain that she was genuinely wrong, and that apologizing for her mistakes isn't a weakness at all. But her friends got angry when she pushed back, and after a few minutes of arguing, they gave her an ultimatum: either she stays with them or crawls back to me. Update done 3. I thought the last update would be the final one, but my girlfriend's friends turned out to be awful people, so here I am again. 2 days ago, my girlfriend and I made up, and she posted a cute photo of us together on social media with a sweet caption. Her friends saw it immediately and started bombarding her with calls and messages, accusing her of breaking their girl code, calling her stupid and weak. They demanded she delete the photo right away or they'd cut her off. My girlfriend didn't care anymore and told them they could do whatever they wanted. That made them even angrier, and they kicked her out of their group. I thought that would be the end of it, but no. They started posting nasty things about my girlfriend, calling her spineless and saying she has no self-respect. One of them even wrote that my girlfriend deserves to be cheated on. Essentially, they launched a full-on hate campaign against her. Even though she blocked them all, people keep sending her their posts and asking what's going on. Naturally, it's really upsetting her, and I can't do anything to stop it. I suggested she talk to my lawyer to put an end to it, but she refused, saying such drastic measures would only make things worse. I'm not going to do anything without her consent, but it kills me to see what she's going through. I feel helpless and incredibly upset about everything that's happening. Her friends are just terrible people with no compassion or morals. I can't believe they're capable of doing this to someone they were friends with just 2 days ago. It's disgusting. Update Gen 4. My girlfriend fought back against her friends, and I'm insanely proud of her for standing up for herself and showing everyone what nasty people they really are. Yesterday, her friends kept posting awful things about her on social media. Even though my girlfriend was really upset and had blocked them, today she decided enough was enough. She told me she'd make them regret everything they wrote and expose their true colors as typical high school mean girls. She had saved messages from their old group chat where her friends constantly gossiped and mocked everyone, even people they pretended to be friends with outside their clique. My girlfriend took screenshots of those messages and posted them online, tagging all the people they'd talked about. She never participated in those conversations herself, because she doesn't like gossip. Most of the people they targeted were perfectly nice, and her friends had no right to treat them that way. After her post, a wave of backlash hit her former friends from old classmates. She even unblocked them just to watch them scramble to justify what they'd said. Of course, it infuriated them, and they added her to a group call where they threatened to ruin her life for going against them. But this time, I stepped in. I told them that if they even tried to do anything else to me or my girlfriend, we'd get lawyers involved, and they'd better stop right now. They tried to argue, but I didn't let them talk. I laid into them about their childish, honestly idiotic behavior, calling them a bunch of self-proclaimed alpha females who still depend on their parents and boyfriends. I told them to get real jobs instead of bullying my girlfriend for attention. By then, some of them were crying, and others tried to take cheap shots at my girlfriend, calling her a kiss-up, but it didn't matter anymore. I hung up and blocked them all again on my girlfriend's phone. Now that this whole mess is finally over, my girlfriend and I are planning our vacation again, and it's going to be way bigger and better than what I had in mind before. I think we deserve it. What do you think about this story? Honestly, I can't wrap my head around how my girlfriend ever ended up with a group like that. It's obvious this kind of behavior didn't start yesterday. It's been the norm in their little clique. Thank God she finally saw through them and cut them off. Story 2. My husband wanted to name our daughter Sturata, a feminine version of his name. After 18 hours of labor, I impulsively named her after our kind nurse. My husband and I, he's 38, I'm 36, are expecting our first child, a beautiful baby girl due in a few months. We were thrilled when we found out the gender, but now things have unexpectedly gotten complicated. When we started discussing names, it was easy for a boy, Stuart Jr., after my husband. No problem, it's a classic name with family significance. But with a girl, things didn't go so smoothly. My husband suggested Stuart. No, you're not hallucinating. His logic was that, since Stuart ends in a T, adding an A makes it feminine. I tried to explain why that doesn't work, that it sounds more like a furniture brand than a person's name, and how our daughter would spend her life explaining its origin. But he was adamant, saying it would honor him while giving her a unique name. I suggested alternatives, feminine names with similar sounds or meanings. I even proposed starting from scratch, but he's fixated on Storta. I love my husband and understand his desire to keep family traditions, but I can't imagine our daughter living with a name that raises eyebrows. I'm also worried it could lead to teasing and hurt her self-esteem. So am I being unreasonable for refusing to agree to Storta? Is there a compromise I haven't considered? Help a soon-to-be mom out. I'm looking for your advice, and I hope it's sensible. Comments. Choosing a child's name is a 2 yeses, 1 no situation. It takes 2 parents saying yes to settle on a name, or 1 no to rule it out. It works both ways. Honestly, I'm not a fan of naming a kid after a parent, because it sets them up for constant comparisons, making it harder for them to feel like their own person. A middle name in honor of someone is different. It's rarely used day to day. Why is he so obsessed with Stuarta? There are tons of beautiful names out there. But he only wants to name his daughter after himself. Why not after you, by the way? It feels a bit sexist to name the kid solely after the dad, especially since she'll likely have his last name too. Maybe you could compromise by picking a name starting with the same letter as his. Stella, Sally, Sophia. If you look at the meaning of Stuart, it's something like guardian of the home. Maybe a name like Vesta or Stacy could work. Though I'm guessing you don't want to be Stacy's mom. It's simple. Let him pick a name when he gives birth himself. Why does it only have to honor him and not you? Also, warn the nurses at the hospital. I've heard stories of dads or in-laws secretly registering a baby under the name they wanted, signing papers behind the mom's back. Naming a kid after a parent is a straight path to dysfunctional relationships. I'm against naming kids after anyone, period. You're not just having a baby, you're raising a new person who'll grow into an independent adult. Give them their own name. Situations like this are why parenthood scares me to death. You're not just raising a kid, you're raising a future adult who'll live 70 years in this world. You're basically signing a contract with society, not to raise an idiot. So why complicate their life with such a ridiculous name? Tell him he gets 1 shot to name a kid after himself. If he names your daughter Stuarta, he's out of luck for a Stewart Jr. with a son. Why is leaving his mark through the kid's name so important to him? And why isn't he thinking about you? Ask what he'd say if you wanted to name a future boy a masculine version of your name. Remind him that picking a name requires both parents' approval. If one of you says no, that name's off the table. You both need to be happy with the choice, even if it means giving up your top pick. Update. First, the good news. We welcomed a beautiful, healthy baby girl. She weighs 7 pounds, 4 ounces, and already has an incredible head of dark hair. Seriously, where did all that hair come from? Labor was a marathon, not a sprint. 18 hours of pure fun. The amazing nurses kept me going with ice chips and encouraging words. Now the not-so-great news, the name. Right before the pushing started, things got tense between me and Stuart. Maybe it was the stress of contractions, but he doubled down on Stuarta. He was pacing the room, muttering about family legacy, while I was trying to focus on breathing exercises. Then my water broke with a loud pop, startling everyone in the room, including Stuart. The nurse, bless her heart, seized the moment and calmly started prepping for delivery. All I remember is a blurry whirlwind of her kind words and then this incredible little girl, with thick dark hair, arriving. The second my daughter came into the world, screaming with all her might, I was hit with a wave of pure primal love. In that moment, the name argument just vanished. I looked at this tiny, perfect being and knew she could never be a Storta. So, what name did we pick? In the post-delivery haze, I blurted out the first name that came to mind, the name of the amazing nurse who helped me through labor. Ella. Yes, Ella. It's not the most unique name, but in that moment it felt perfect. Strong, reliable, kind, just like the woman who helped bring my daughter into this world. Stuart, the poor confused new dad, looked at me, then at our daughter, then back at me, and finally with a shaky laugh said, "All right, Ella, it is. Thank you all for the support. Now we're diving into sleepless nights, endless diaper changes, and the wild adventure of parenthood." Comment. Never give a kid a name they'll have to explain for the rest of their life. That's a selfish parental whim, not something an innocent baby should carry. Ella may not be super original, but it'll never cause problems for her. Great choice over Storta. I knew a guy whose dad was named Al. They called him Al X, and his sister was Al S. The mom finally took control, and the third kid got a normal name. Honestly, I can't even remember what it was, but it was progress. All I want is for a kid to have a name you can find on a toothbrush or keychain. For heaven's sake, Stuart, if you're so desperate to have something named after you, discover a new planet, just don't torture your own kid. Well, that's it. Let me know your thoughts on this story in the comments. I think there's no one-size-fits-all approach to picking a name. To me, it's like this. Either the name's unique and one of a kind, or it's simple and straightforward so no one has to explain it. It's like stat points in an RPG. Originality and simplicity are both strengths. But Stuarda, or say Gleb, no way I'd name my kid that. Thanks for sticking with this story till the end. Check out our previous video, which you'll see linked here, and good luck out there.